still fight doubt. And the only person that's finna stop me is me. But once I overcame that fight, can't nothing stop me. I can't die. I'm immortal. Rejected, neglected, I feel disrespected. They told me go left, I didn't learn the right lessons. Been hard on my grizzle, my hustle got deadly. Y'all rap about shit I done murdered already. Ain't changing my image, focused on my vision. Hard-headed, don't listen, fake love, I ain't with it. This path I'm committed, slip up but ain't tripping. My mind always spinning, ain't talking about vision. Just run me, my digits go broke, I ain't limping. It ain't come to me, so I had to go get it. I came from a city where niggas is vicious. The love be fictitious, see hate from a distance. It made me a fighter, got pushed to my limits. I took a few L's and then got so discouraged. With God as my witness, from whence I was forged. No golden gate bridge, but I came back a warrior. I came back immortal, invincible even. My faith is much higher than what you believe in. They wanted me gone on my soul, I ain't leaving. Spoke life into every verse you receiving. My music lives on when my bones turn to dust. There's power in words, so bitch you should hush. My mind overflowing in lyrical floods. Fuck building an art, you gon' need you a sub. I rose through the pavement, I stand on my morals. Been stabbed in the heart, now my scars are enormous. I took all your stones and created a fortress. Been fighting off demons that constantly torment my mind, and my thoughts are a little abnormal. Been crossing out squares that won't fit in my circle. Can't kill what I said, and this verse is eternal. With God on my side, I can't die, I'm immortal. Creation, destruction, the cosmos erupting. My mind kicked off track of the train I'm conducting. Came out of the dungeon, stepped into corruption. Don't know who
the officials are ready. The fighters are in the ring, and they are ready. So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, and world championship titles in a record 8 different weight division, guarantees his place in the Hall of Fame. He's recognized and known the world over as the people's champion.
My name is D-Nice. My name is D-Nice. My name is D-Nice. Taking out your suckers head. Yeah, and you don't stop.
Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. It's 05072024. If it doesn't mean anything to you today, it won't mean anything anymore. This is the first time you be in this day, and this damn show gonna be the last time you will be in this day. It's a day you've never been in before, and a day you'll never be in again. So you might as well make the best of it. Make sure you love yourself and love people around you. Become a true friend of self and true friend of your own. But let me tell you like this. I got two brilliant men with me. I consider these brothers friends. I consider these brothers reliable when it comes to information of a particular lifestyle that has been trending here lately. And the thought of it is that they need to be highlighted in a way because they're doing something magnanimous. They're doing something for the sake of bettering themselves, bettering the people around them. They have a true community aspect within their spirits. So with that being said, I will hold y'all no longer. I'm gonna bring these great brothers to the stage. So they deserve to be here. My gentlemen, how y'all doing, man?
Very good. Great. Very good. Living the dream.
Welcome to the land of being able to talk shit freely. Whoa, America, motherfuckers. So, fellas, man, we're talking homestead living and farm around and find out. When I say I'm enamored, I think that's an understatement. To say I'm all in is an understatement. I can't be more at a distance to sit there and look and just like root for you guys to fucking just take off in such a way that people understand, because the way y'all promote it is not that the life that people are living is bad. It's just that, hey, there's opportunity in another spectrum of life for you if you choose to see it. And so sometimes I think when certain people are presenting it, this one, some people want to say, this guy's a goddamn cult leader.
Oh man, there go that C word again.
Well, but that's legitimate, right? Because everybody who's outside the standard is a pagan, right? If you're not doing what everybody else is doing, you're in some sort of cult or you're a pagan. It's been that way for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. I we were, we were talking on Biggie's platform, and me and Biggie, if people only understood how we went back and forth, and how and this is a prime example. When I always use this shit, I always think about when people don't stay in their lane. How are you going to be able to function in any other situation? So it's always, you know, entice me to have these type of discussions with people who are actually in their lane. And so I want to start right there. How much of it do you see? And not to be pessimistic of or even judgmental. You see it. Like it's visibly like a sign when somebody walks up on you and it's like this life that you're ain't for you.
So it's not that I see, brother. It's that we know. Um, Gerard is a little bit older than I am, right? But for me, it's the inherent need that you see with the knowledge that you know. We know that the way we're living right now has worked true and has worked forever. Um, Way before anything of current time now. Matter of fact, I'll give you a little known fact that a lot of people don't know. The idea, the actual concept of a grocery store is barely 100 years old.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
The first grocery store was actually the Piggly Wiggly, which was in like 1912 or 14 or 17 or somewhere around that, right? That was the very first grocery store. And then the federal government instituted started taking that over. What was that, Jordan? In the 60s, 70s, somewhere around that? FDA started seizing control of everything. I mean, and if you know that before the government took over the food industry, our people were living to be 100 easily. You get what I'm saying? And now in today's time, you're lucky if you make it to 60.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too far from the 60s or 70s where you create the formation of an FDA. What we had talked about before is cronyism runs this country. It always has. You work together, government and corporations, robber barons, railroad tycoon, banker, landowners. They always got together, and they created the cheapest method for growing food, which it happens to be the most poisonous food we could ever put in our mouths or our kids' mouths. Food that's covered in carcinogens and grown in chemicals that are banned in other countries. So yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's too far from 6 or 7, but this is a massive experiment. The first time in the history of the human race in hundreds of thousands of years that we decided to stop growing our own food and trust corporations, people we don't know in places we've never been, to grow what we put in our bellies and our kids' bellies.
And if you just look at how it works in nature, all of nature knows what they eat except for us. We're the only ones that doesn't know where our food comes from. A lion knows where his food comes from, right? A gazelle knows where its food comes from. Hell, fishes know where their food comes from, right? And they have simplistic minds. So how is it that we're supposed to be the top apex predators, the top intelligent life on this planet, but we're the ones that's doing the most harm to ourselves and to our planet on top of that?
And you know, it's funny you say that because when I was a personal trainer, I used to tell a lot of my clients, you're an organic being. Eat organic food. And I wasn't selling the organic brand. I'm just selling eat real food. If if you are caused from a certain source, be connected to that source. So it all makes sense. You don't see, like you said, the lion. The lion is not going to go chase a GMO antelope. he's not he's not chasing a processed hyena. He's going after real food because he's a real lion or a real lioness. Uh, I think for the most part, when people become so more connected to hype, it becomes convoluted about a mission. What you fellas are doing, and the reason why I Gerard, let me tell you now, I swore to Biggie, I said I will not be a front man. However, I will be a sworn hand and explain the missions needed off screen. But I am with y'all just on the backside where they don't see. So whenever you say, "Oh, what?" Move the curtain to the side. They go, "Oh God, it's him." Like, yeah. So I just, when I see things, and I know when there's a legit mission, right? I know when there's a purpose tied to something. And I know very much when people come in and they see, "Oh yeah, this is good, this is great." And they literally have the hype written across their head. And it's like, "Oh yeah, when the shit hits the fan." Because, having a job is a comfort level. Having to deal with things where you can pick up the phone and have somebody, "Hey, my light bulb and toilet and dishwasher," that's a comfort level. But when you have to come from out of that comfort level and you can't pick up that phone because the people that you're going to be dealing with more than likely going to be dealing with their own situation. I'm in Texas. I hadn't seen it in a while, but I know damn well the motherfuckers are still doing it. I ain't seen a herd of tarantulas, but when I go to certain parts in the city, I see a bunch of them. I don't see them moving across the grass, across the highways like I used to. But I know that when the shit happens and somebody got their 10 acres of land, then all of a sudden the grass start moving and all these motherfuckers start rolling out. Or these herd of boars come running across the damn. It's
now that I got a plan for that one. You get a herd of boy running across anything, you let me know. Listen, they got this brilliant trap, right? And I mean, honestly, that meat could really go to use. Like because that's actual good meat. And honestly, there's a lot of hungry people out here that meat could just literally be processed out and given to. That's almost a free source of food. It is a free source.
They're gonna eat that organic meat, be sick as shit for 3 months.
But to that point though, brothers, the thing is that stability is a conspiracy theory. Look, stability is a conspiracy theory. That is actually the conspiracy theory. The history of this world and society is collapse. It's not stability. So we've gotten comfortable. Our nails are clean and soft. We got nice shirts and cars and all this stuff. But like you said, that always ends. It does not sometimes end. It always ends. Currencies always collapse. New technology comes up, destabilize society. Wars come, empires fall. Like that's the stable thing. Is instability, and so we always have to be prepared for those things. And to a degree, I mean, we are homesteaders. Don't get me wrong. You can call it off grid if you want. Homestead, I think, is a more accurate word. But we are supported by people who are not.
Right.
And this is where we all work together as a collective, because when I need some solar panels, somebody may be making them jokers. When I need another charge controller, when I'm rolling out automation, somebody's got to be making these Raspberry Pis, and this is where we as a group, have a come up, but we need another way to live. And it can't be all based in centralized power. It can't be all based in a system where we have less and less rights and less ability to control our own lives and are dependent upon a system, knowing that these systems always collapse.
And I really hate to be the one to say this, right? But I feel like we have to do this for the children's sake. Honestly, brother, the number one reason why I'm doing this is because there are so many children today that are growing up without a father. There's so many children, young men that are growing up not knowing what their role is in life because there's no one there to teach them. We have to go back to implementing the village, right? Where we all take responsibility of teaching our youth because these kids are I mean, you see what they're turning out to be like. And honestly speaking, yeah, there's help and what do you call it, therapy and all that stuff for these grown folks who don't know how to behave and all this. But honestly, the shit starts at home, and I'm done trying to fix grown folks. What I figured we do is we start from the root of the problem, right? Create a safe, stable, sustainable village for these children to grow up in, where they get the education that they deserve, right? And they grow up healthy, and a lot of these things that we have in today that are environmental or the issues, right?
See, right
The
there,
things that
right there. I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize
no,
greatly.
you good.
But that's what I talk about often is the sacrifice that people don't want to make. And the crazy thing of it all is this is people don't want to be in the ground, Gerard, Biggie, Jules, and have people, grandson, great grandson. Hey, Pop, Mama, that house you always wanted, I got that shit. Everything you wanted it, the curtains to the floor, I got it. The
I'm
same
tired of you saying that. That's not true, brother. Listen, I
shit. You and I
want
both
that
know
for
that.
me.
No,
Listen,
you know that.
I
We're
want my
yeah,
grandchildren to stand over my grave.
we're not talking about the minority, sir. So you do not exist in this equation. We're talking about the majority. We're talking about those who are selfish in a way that where it fits the negative connotation of it. Where everything you just described was a selfish thing that, hey, I wanted to be a part of something like that, but instead of it, I'm going to create it. So therefore, it's the selfish manner that came from the selfish ideal of making something better. A lot of people don't understand that because we have gotten ingrained to just be for self. And this world is only going to go forward better that we enhance the community that's coming behind us. That's the fact. But people want to be so here and now, and they don't listen well. They're not studying well. They're not implementing
That's true.
well. So
Yeah.
therefore, when you have all of that going on, was like, well, hell, what are you doing?
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I
Well,
mean, that's why what you said disturbed people yesterday, right? When you was just like, well, the average American does not have the discipline to do what we're doing. And you're right. But that is why we're here. I will teach you that discipline, right? We will guide you into being able to do that. All you have to do for me is realize that there's a problem. There's a problem when you wake up in the morning and your kid has to be inside playing video games all day because it is not safe for them to go outside and play. If you can tell that to me that is a problem, I can give you a solution for that problem. If you're telling me that, hey, the school system is not doing right by my child and the school system is not teaching my child the way that they need to be taught, right? I then can tell you I've got a solution for that. All you have to do is be able to identify the problem and we will help you with the solution on being able to fix it. But my thing is you got to be willing to come out of the matrix. You get what I'm saying? Like that, you got to be willing to let that shit go. The
Well, Biggie,
commercialism.
let me disagree with one of your word choices. It's
All
not
right.
discipline. It's not discipline that they're lacking to do this. Because let me ask you a question. Do you work 8 hours a day, Biggie?
I used to.
No, I'm saying right now, off grid. Do you work 8 hours a day? Like, let's keep it 100. Let's keep it real. Do you? Because the thing is, it's not discipline, and
Yes,
and
I
and because
have.
it
Yes,
requires it
yes,
requires more
we've worked
discipline to
those
work
eight
at
hours.
McDonald's. McDonald's, you got to be there at 8 o'clock, right? If that's when your shift start, you ain't done till 4 o'clock. Sometimes you got to go late. The fire crowd and came in like when it comes to, and you got to do it 5 days out the week or more. That's discipline. This is not. If I want to work today, I don't work today. If I only want to work for 3 or 4 hours, I do 3 or 4 hours. If I want to live stream and hang out with
so
my friends, I'm gonna do. So it's not
so
discipline. It's drive.
Gerard, he's
It
talking. No.
most
He's talking about the financial discipline in
Well,
order to save the money in order
so
to get
what?
us here.
What? Not only that. Not only was I talking about the financial discipline, I'm just talking about self-discipline, right? Because there's so many people who just won't do the things they know they are supposed to do.
well, what are people supposed to do?
So,
Like,
for example,
let me go back and ask
so,
because
let
like
me
I know I'm
let me.
doing what I feel I'm supposed to be doing. I got the feeling you doing what you feel like you supposed to be doing too.
No,
So
you know damn
But
well.
okay, all right. But
Let's do it
Gerard,
like this.
when
Let's
your
do it like
kids
this.
was little, brother,
No, no, not
what
even that.
was you supposed? Oh,
No, not even that. We're gonna bring it down. Gerard, Biggie's hogs got out, and I'm on the phone with him. I hear, oh shit, and then I hear, I said, oh, that big bitch. I said that big bitch is out. He said, and I hear him. He's like, yeah. I said, you're gonna have to go to the Western store. You're gonna have to get you a rope. And he's like, hold on. It took him a while. He tussled. He trapped one. I said, you know what you need to do? You need to go shake you a bag of feed. I guarantee you that sloppy motherfucker come rooting across that goddamn. But the average person that's come like that discipline, knowing you have to go and fix that fence when it gets knocked down because the wind or somebody happened to come through there, or Bambi just happened just to be fucking get caught in your shit. You know what I mean? So many people, if they have a fence line when they first get on a property and it's all intact, the first time it gets fucked up. Ah, I mean, I'll get to it. No, when you're out
but
there,
bro, that was me. My fence was there when I first got here. Now, some of them I had to build too, but the property fence was there too, right? And I listen, and that's why I tell people, brother, like this is not as hard as people make it seem to
it's
be, like it was back in the
right. Hold
day.
on, hold on. That was never the point about it being hard. Nothing's ever as hard as if as anybody make it. If you don't have any action, you don't have any idea on how hard it is or isn't. You are
That's
your own self-defiant. And that's what I was saying. If people are going to promote this stuff to people as if hey, you've come out your cookie cup and bubbles in life and fairy tale life and you could do this, and they're like, no, I've always had the dragons in my mind, and they're gonna come and eat my feet, and they're gonna eat my sheep, and they're gonna eat my goats, and I'm like, motherfucker, dragons don't exist, but you can't convince them of that. So here we are in a situation. I'm talking about the financial discipline. The fact that when
mm,
people have certain situations, and I get it, some people's income may not cover it, and that's fine. However, it's when in a situation you cannot afford to let a dollar go to cover the necessary. That's a form of discipline you lack. So if you're not going to be committed to the necessary, regardless of cost, it can cost $1. If you're not really in tune on yourself for that situation, every month, hey Gerard, you got 50 cents, you got 75 cents, you got $1. Like, because they are not going to be like that, because that's what they've done. That's what they've consistently done. And we're talking about adults for the most part. So we're on average, let's go to the minimum what people would consider an adult, 20, 21, right? If that's been a pattern that they've done since 2021 and now they're 40 something, now they've got 20, 21 years of consistent bad habits. And I have no problem with people saying, listen, if you give me the time, I can become this. And Biggie said himself, it took him 5 years to do something. But again, that was the implemented work. But the discussion piece is, oh no, you don't have to do it like that. You just come and it's gonna work out. Yeah, the fence is gonna fix itself. The hogs will always come back. Ain't no coyote gonna come take your goat.
Well, now the hogs do always come back. When they get out, they come back.
That's because the coyote ain't find them yet. They don't always come back. But but to that point though, like I don't think I was ready to do this when I did it. I don't think Biggie was ready. It's I kind of view it as parenting. Nobody's ready to be a parent.
No.
You become a parent when you have kids, right? Like, and you learn that discipline. Like, if you don't teach them, they're gonna go wild. If you don't get the hog, you're gonna lose it, and you're gonna learn, and then you're gonna go get the hog next time. So I think everybody has the ability to, in terms of learning that discipline. But you have to go do the thing, and some of the things you already know ahead of time you got to do. Others you will learn, because this actually is more human than what we're doing now. We've been homesteaders longer than we've been city livers, right? Growing our own food, like we were just talking about, getting our own water, taking care of what, like, survival of the fittest is always a thing. And if you ask me, we do need to find a new way to live, because this lifestyle is over. We've talked about it, D, in terms of automation. This is coming to an end. We done rode this gravy train a minute. All the automated checkouts, the completely software driven banking systems and accounting and doing the taxes, like, these jobs are going away, whether we like it or not. And no, contrary to popular beliefs, no significant new jobs are coming, because we have done such a fantastic job of creating learning software to automate everything everybody does. We've done such a fantastic job of creating actuator motors and step motors to replace the human muscle. And so the thing is this world is coming to an end. And if you don't realize that we got to find a new way to live, you're going to be left without a chair. You're going to be that kid when the music stops in musical chairs, and you're not going to have a chair to sit in. You got to pick up the automation. You got to pick up the learning software. You got to start a business. You got to, buy land, develop the land. Like, you got to figure out your way through. Because if you don't adapt to this new automated world, because you're not going to stop it and you're not going to slow it down. Because there'll always be somebody like me or Deep with some damn hot pockets or a nice car or a good paycheck. We're going to make the automation. The minute I quit my job to come out here, I promise you someone picked that job up in automation and ran with it. Because you're
know I'm only one click away from having an OnlyFans, bitch. Yeah, I mean, but it's fact, and this is why I tell people I live in the city I live in because, one, I come from a heritage of cowboys on both sides, and the city makes it damn good to raise my family. When I want a little bit of the city life, I got it. When I want the country life, I got it. There ain't many places that's gonna happen, and it be genuine. So I'm thrilled to say that, but for a lot of people, it's going to be the understanding that they're gonna have to come to grips with it quickly. I'm not ever denying that people cannot acquire the skill set. If you haven't completed something for self of anything to any magnitude, you won't complete anything else for self. Because Biggie, Gerard, you guys literally done this living for self. And then you say, you know what? My cup is full. I can now share from my cup. I filled my cup. And that's the understanding that a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people are willing to empty out the cup as soon as they get the first pour in there. And it's like, how can I be an assistance to anyone else? I haven't assisted the main person. I have to assist me first. So for you gentlemen to do this homestead life, and I'm glad y'all did y'all, me and Biggie was going back and forth like, how should we title this? Because we already know what comes with the other word. And although it has no real negative meaning, it's just that when it's said, everything comes off grid. Oh God, off grid. It's like God. Jules, what you got to say about that?
I have so much. I wasn't going to interrupt anybody though. Going back, look, at the end of the day, you have to want it. If you don't want it, it's not going to work. Which goes into, I'm in the healthcare field and I've been in the healthcare field for almost 25 years. Just the other day, I had somebody, I don't know if they worked with the facility I was at or if they were part of agency. She made up the excuse, I don't feel well. And she went home in the middle of the shift, leaving 1 aide on the floor because she didn't want to work. And when she was there, she sat on her phone the whole entire time. But then it goes back to these people get rewarded for their shitty behavior. And us people who bust our ass and do way more than anything and go above and beyond what we're supposed to be doing, get the shit end of the deal. So at the end of the day, you have to want it. And if you don't want it, you're going to be left behind. I would love to live off grid. In a heartbeat, I would love to live off grid.
We could use a nurse.
Listen, I think we've created a place and a space that's safe for everybody, and nobody wants to adapt or learn or grow or whatever. You can't take all the material shit with you when you leave. It's not going to be there. So
you should know that we have a lot of single mothers that are interested in this lifestyle. There's a lot of children. There will be nurses. We're looking at doing things holistically. So having people from your field will be necessary.
Absolutely. Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. But I can't. I guess this is why I can't stand it, because I used to be one of those people. I would make excuses for not being where I needed to be and doing what I needed to do. So I guess that's why it irks me so bad, because I've gotten out of the mindset, if I want something and I want to have a better for me and for my children, I have to go and get it. I have to make it happen. You can't keep making excuses and walking away from shit when it gets hard, because that's not personal growth. That's teaching whoever that they can't depend on you.
Yeah. But let me tell you something. It builds you though. Trust me, this life builds you. When I first started out here, I was a city boy. The only thing I had was gun training, right? Because I was a bodyguard, I did security. So, I wasn't afraid, like they was like, well, what about all the noise in the woods? I was excited. I was ready to get my gun out.
I'm finna stop him right now. Motherfucker from Dallas, Texas, talking about he's a city boy.
I am a city boy. I'm from Garland.
DFW.
I went to Naaman Forest High School, bro. I graduated from a private school. What are you talking about?
They got private schools everywhere, boy. What are you talking about? That still don't deny the fact that a lot of people around Dallas talk like, hey, I got that. Hey.
But they're not country though, bro. Let's be honest. None of them people can swing a hammer. None of them people would know anything.
Hold on. This is where we mess up when it comes to country. Everybody in the country can't ride a goddamn horse. Can't fix a fence.
Exactly.
There's people in the city that can't twist a light bulb. That don't mean that they're not country or that they're not
They
from the
not
street.
country, bro. They
No,
not country, bro. A country man can definitely fix a fence. I ain't met one yet that can't. Matter of fact, I can go into my town right now in the country and I can pick out any random child and they can build a fence.
well, that's in your area, sir. There's a lot of
Oh,
areas where
well, that's why I said them city folks in Dallas, where I'm from, I know they city. I all over Dallas.
that's another discussion for another time. But I would say this, and Jules, you brought up the health field, and Gerard, me and you were speaking before we went live, and it was like, you know, enjoying. I was like, man, that sunlight out there looking real nice, and he's like, I love it. He's like, I'm out here, and I probably don't go inside unless I necessarily have to, and that's my whole point. Like, you're an organic being. You're supposed to be doing organic things. You're supposed to have some sunlight in your life.
Mostly sunlight. I mean,
Right.
like you said, you know, to your point, and I say it a different way in that you are a biological creature. You got no business putting synthetic anything in your body unless it has a determined purpose to solve an immediate problem that if you don't do, you're going to die. You know, short of that, everything should be natural and holistic. And, you know, in terms of sun, I mean, when you look at civilization on this planet or human existence, we spend the vast majority of our days outdoors. This indoor thing is all new. We never sat inside and played. I mean, a lot of us, when we were kids, we hated being, it was literally punishment to be in the house. I need to get out the house. I got to get out. I got this BMX going to ride itself. These jump ramps ain't going to make themselves. I got to get out, mama. She's like, oh no. You know, so it was punishment to be in the house.
Don't let me hear that damn soap operas in the background, mama. Let me outside, please.
I gotta go. General Hospital coming on. It's time, mom. I gotta get outside. You know. And so, but vitamin D3, and that's one of the ones they can't synthesize. You cannot synthesize vitamin D3. It comes from the sun, it goes through your skin, and it goes into your immune system. And you need that. It is beyond critical to have that. We should be spending the majority of our day outdoors. And that's what I mean by it, is that just being in the sun makes me happy.
Right.
I don't like it when the sun goes down, because then I got to go inside and go to sleep. I don't like that. You know, but human existence, we are sun creatures, y'all. We've always been in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Not to get all like crystal loving, nature hug a tree type person, but listen,
get out of tree.
Grounding yourself, walking in grass with bare feet.
Oh, that's my shit.
And grounding yourself and knowing how to do it. And when I say hug a tree, there is a vibration within a tree that will help you out. I know that sounds like so far-fetched and like this chick is crazy.
Nope.
But when he's right. If
you're
you connect
talking
with
to the
nature,
choir here.
there's a different thing to it.
Well, she ain't talking to you. She's talking to the people on the other side of YouTube, boy.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna go there, hey Gerard, should we tell them how we garden?
Hell yeah, you should.
Well, hey, it's natural.
But it's naked if you need to.
Yeah, that's actually what we recommend is you garden butt ass naked, right? You just go out there and you just let it just enjoy nature, sit in the grass.
That's my ultimate goal in life. I don't want to be nowhere but nothing but God and NASA can see me.
You know, the whole putting on clothes thing is new.
Right.
This is all new. We've never done this before, no matter where you park.
You know, as I hit my property line, I'm Adam, bitch.
Like, what is the point in clothes? Like, I get up in the morning, I got to go out and do stuff.
Wait, hold on, wait a second.
4 miles? Waste my time. It's not efficient. You know, and I'm blocking the sun.
Go ahead, Jules.
I'm a ginger. I don't need parts of me burned that I can't handle. And if I do anything
Well, yeah.
that's
See,
not
we
gonna
don't
keep my
burn.
people, no.
Hey,
I love the concept. I really
what, so,
do.
what,
put
But at
what
put
you
the
some
do?
sunscreen on.
What you do is you
no,
you get you some
sunscreen does not work with this. And if I
get
put it
get
anywhere,
get you some leaves, and just kind of get you some patch areas you don't want,
Some vines and tie
Yeah.
them jokers, braids.
So
That's
what
human brain.
loincloth?
I'm glad when she said about the walking in the grass and the vibrations. I meant that I was going to talk to you about this the other day, Biggie, about honey. Um, a lot of people don't understand the shit that honey can do for your life.
Mhm.
Even furthermore, listen, I hate that I didn't grow up to become a goddamn beekeeper.
Funny thing is, we met once. She'll be joining the community. Older lady. She'll be bringing her bees down.
So I met when me and my wife went to the farmer's market, and so he had this one, and I had to get it. It had the pecans in it. And the honey it's sweet, but it's not that commercial sweet.
Yeah, I know what you
And
mean.
so there's a lot of like that extra sugary shit that's being left out.
It's
But it has
nature shit. It's
right,
not artificial shit.
right. So I honestly, this is what I felt like. I felt like another time that I was in the midst of a very extremely rich guy, and he was playing broke, and he sold me this shit. So when he sold it to us, he's like, "Oh yeah, I got I got a honey field over there in McKinney, and honey field over here, and Garland Honeyfield over here in Seguin, Honeyfield over here in Austin. And you got another honey. And I was like, you rich motherfucker, quit talking to me and give me my product, bitch.
But that's the thing. You got to be careful because everybody kind of going back to, I don't know who said it or what you were talking, like specifically what was said, but like a lot of products that are out that claim to help you, it's all about money at the end of the day, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's a big company or not, whether it's FDA approved or not, or whatever. It claims to do this, and people are so quick to have a quick fix that you're willing to spend that money. But at the end of the day, you're doing more harm to yourself than you are good, right? So if you just go back to ultimately what these two are doing, going back to living how we used to live. And this is what kills me is because,
Like
God,
this the crazy
when
thing. I've
taken
look at Biggie. Look at Biggie, Jules. How old you think he is? That
early
motherfucker.
40s.
That motherfucker is 95 years old. Look at him.
Oh, shut up.
He's got
Listen,
all those good natural grains and bees around his life.
shut up. Listen, but it goes back to me being in the medical field because I've taken care of patients who are on a pharmacy list of medications. A pharmacy list. Like they take up a row in my med cart. Okay? Like morning, evenings, nights, all these pills.
Mhm.
And I have said if you take off a chunk of these meds, I bet you'd feel better.
Right.
Period. I mean, I can understand
Mhm.
blood pressure meds, but there's also stuff that are naturally proven to help lower that.
Like food.
I mean, there's things you can do to improve being a diabetic. There's things you can do to lower your cholesterol. There's things that you can do to lower your blood pressure that is not a synthetic medication.
Yeah.
And all these, I'm like doing my med pass and I'm just dumping these meds in these people. And I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore.
That's my
Yeah.
I
wife.
just don't.
All we did in Big Pharma was find ways of creating synthetic compounds that mimic natural ones in nature. That's all we did. And a lot of
Right.
people didn't know that. Like, we would literally send helicopters down to grab plants out of these jungles, working with these shaman and medicine men in Latin America to fly that plant back as quick as possible before the compound breaks down, to figure out how to synthesize it and make something we can patent. But
Right.
it was all mimicking something in nature that naturally did what it was supposed to do with no
Right.
side effects because it was not synthetic, you
Right.
know? And that's just what we do. We've just gone too far. But a good book to read for anybody that's interested in that is called Rockefeller's Medicine Men. You know, and it's basically the history and how the Rockefellers and the Mellons took over the healing discipline we call healthcare and turn it into a synthetic, high-priced drug, most expensive procedure healthcare system, which is not. It's just disease management. You know,
Yeah.
we have to go back to treating the actual problem, not the side effect. The side effect is what makes them all this money. And this is part of why what Biggie you were saying earlier, why we're so disease riddled. It's because it's profitable. It's not profitable to have healthy people, strong people, independent, because medicine has always been free.
Right.
It's more beneficial for centralized power to have people alive and ill, but need the industries and need the money and need the help of them to make us dependent. There's so many reasons why. One, we should be going back to homesteading. We should be going back to grounding, getting in the sun, eating natural foods, living good lives, because the lives we have are centric to the diseases that we get. And it's like the whole point of the lion, what you were saying earlier, D. You know, the lion teaches its child how to eat and what to eat. It doesn't take it to no damn grocery store. It doesn't say, well, we need to be eating a GMO gazelle. It shows because, you know, your thriving as a species is all about you teaching your young what to eat and how to live to thrive. So they have a better go at it than what the previous generation did. And we are the only species on the planet that does not succeed at making our next generation stronger, healthier, and thrive more.
You know, Biggie.
And that's the point.
Biggie, this is what you needed the other day. You needed these two things. You needed this.
Order! 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 Order!
And you also needed this button.
Shut up, silly woman.
I was so glad I was not on that live stream, but I saw the after effect.
Here's my question to both of you gentlemen. And it's funny, we were speaking about food and the organic nature of it all. You're not eating as much as you were before you were doing this, are you, fellas?
I'm not.
I personally have not, because recently my mods, I allowed them to control my diet for the last 60 days. So, I mean, but truthfully told, nah, because if I did, all my animals would be gone.
Right. You know, me, I'm from Houston, and it was crazy that I was a personal trainer in a city where we became the fattest city in the world twice in a 5-year span. The first time I was like, damn. And then the second time I was like, fuck again. But then I had to realize I'm literally in the food capital of the world. There is nowhere where you can't go and get this great, delectable flavor of any kind that you want. You want Mongolian? It's right there. You want Indian? It's next to the Mongolian. You want Chinese? Well, it's next to the Mongolian and the Indian. You want seafood? Well, shit, it's upstairs. You want barbecue? It's downstairs. It's like, yes, I'm gonna eat. And I tell people all the time, you motherfuckers ain't moving to Houston because of the jobs in there. No, you come here because it's fucking food. There's more food there than anything.
Food. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Julie.
Oh, I was just going to say, what people don't understand is if you make your body a more alkaline environment, you'll have less issues. So cancer is more thriving in an acidic environment. So the more you alkalize your body, you'll feel a lot better. But there's a point where you can take it too far too, and it can make you sick. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, I eat a lot less out here, and I think it's for two reasons. I mean, one, I'm not in the Philly area anymore, right? Food is everywhere, you know, like you said, if I want Indian, sushi, you know, pizza, if I'm lazy, if I want, like, no matter what I wanted, Thai, Korean, it's all right there.
Right.
You know, so one, yeah, I don't have access to that as much anymore. But also, I realized when I'm bored, when I was living on grid, I ate as a hobby. I didn't eat because I was hungry.
Mhm.
I ate as a hobby. Like it's lunchtime. Brother's time to go to lunch. It's dinner time. It's breakfast time, and I'm just bored. I'm gonna go eat. You know. So
Yeah.
out here, I'm busy. I don't eat as much, but I also think it has to do with the food out here. I'm eating healthier. The food is. Did he fall asleep on us?
No, I'm right here. I'm talking to
Oh,
you.
okay. Close his eye. I thought about this.
Nah, let me.
That ain't gonna be
Nah,
the first
brother.
time. And
Nah,
that's look. That's a
He
sign
was,
of a happy life too. The brother
he,
just
he,
fall asleep in a moment.
he was
You know.
praying.
He was
I
praying.
was not. I was
Right.
doing neither one. I'm just
He,
sitting here
Amen.
listening to you
he was
talk,
praying. He
right?
was praying. Thank you, God. Thank you.
Amen.
My
But
eyes.
the other thing
You know, I'm on that 420, man. You know, I'm.
the other thing I would say though is eating food that you grow yourself is significantly more dense in nutrients and minerals.
Right.
And so I think I'm getting a lot more energy eating a lot less. And that's something I didn't expect. You know, and while I grew a
Yeah.
lot of food when I was in Pennsylvania, it wasn't on like raw land that did not have chemicals and pesticides and, you know, underneath the airplanes. I can sit out here all day and not one airplane flies over, you know,
Right.
so I'm growing in real soil. And so I think the food I'm eating is significantly more dense in nutrients. And so I'm not as hungry. You know, so I can go till noon before I'm even hungry some days. And like I thought there was something wrong in me at first, but I think the answer just is no. When you are getting the nutrients that you need, we go back to eating how we used to. We were more hunting and gathering and kind of nibbling on things throughout the day, not having to sit down and eat an entire meal. But yeah, it's the modern food system. Well, one, it poisons your thyroid. That's the number one thing, the chemicals in the
Have you
food.
heard of
So
the color wheel?
I've heard of it. Yes.
What's it? What they call
The-
something else though?
Nah, so it used to be the food pyramid, right? But then finds out there's an actual food color wheel. The color of the food all represents something that it gives your body. Now, this is something that I started learning being out here growing my own food, is the colorful stuff gives you different stuff, right? And so that's why they, instead of looking at the food pyramid now, you look at the food wheel, right? Red gives you something, yellow gives you something, green gives you something,
Right.
orange gives you something, right? And so I noticed that, like, even when I make my stir fries and I actually use my fresh vegetables that are cut up and I'm using those different colors, right? That when I eat that meal, how it reacts with my body is totally different, right? Now, being a person that was always a carnivore, like, you know, I just thought this was heaven, like being a dinosaur that's around here chasing hamburgers off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, right? And so then, you know, when you start growing things and you start trying different stuff, it's like, well, I'm gonna grow this, right? I'm gonna try this and be like, oh man, this is good. I didn't know that if you grow your own onion, right? If as soon as you pick it out of the ground, you can bite it and it is sweet as an apple.
I've become more of a foodie out here. Food tastes better out here.
Hold on.
It is
Something
what
wrong.
it is. I eat more natural food because the food I'm growing because I don't want to go to town. You know, I got to go 15 minutes to get to the nearest store, and I got to go an hour to get to the nearest restaurant. You know, decent
Right.
restaurant anyway. Well, not
Hmm.
decent. That's the wrong word. Just, you know, I'll leave that where that is. That's not a diner. But the point I'm making is that, you know, and so just in terms of eating more healthy and food I'm growing, it's right in the garden. You know, otherwise I got to go get in the truck and spend an hour up and an hour back. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to eat out of my own garden. You know, and I think that's how we used to be as well. Why would you, even if there was a general store, why would you hook up to horse and carriage and go 45 minutes to town to get food, and you got food right in your garden?
Right.
You would just go to trade.
Yeah.
That's what you would go to town for back in the day. Back in the day, you would just trade, hey, I've got plenty of this, what you got plenty of, and you trade.
Yeah.
Now
I
I
want to
give
say
you
this
something.
on your color wheel example, because this thought came to mind. I'm sorry, I know I cut you off, but I find it interesting in that I know about the color wheel, but I never thought about this. Is that every fruit and vegetable we grow out here is green first. It looks like the leaves. It blends in. It's
Yeah.
not food until it ripens, and when it ripens, what does it do? Turns red, turns orange, turns purple, turns all these bright colors yellow, and that attracts our eyes. Okay, now it's time for the mammals to come in and eat because this thing ain't green no more. So there, I think there is a whole lot to that color, the color wheel.
Yeah,
I mean, plants, the only reason they make a fruit is because they want us to eat their seed and poop it out 50 miles away. So it covers its seed in a delicious sugary coating and makes the thing a certain color when it's time to eat. So we'll be healthy and strong and carry their seed as far as possible.
Too bad they don't know what really happens to those seeds.
fertilized.
Doubt it. Toilet.
I mean, now. Back then, it was straight,
Yeah, back then. That's why I say too bad they don't know what happened to them now. They
Hold
probably
on, I gotta
stopped
go
giving them
fertilize
to
the
us.
yard.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Right off the back porch.
Gotta take care of these tomatoes.
I'll be
It
right
was
back.
right to the water treatment place, and they take them seeds and destroy them and filter the water and put it right back into the public water system. But yeah, and that alone is changing the biodiversity. We're not passing seeds through the human digestive system anymore, not to any significant degree. So the plants and we stopped evolving together by the advent of the modern sewage system. Not to say that's a bad thing, but we were evolving together for millions of years, and now that's over.
Yeah, it was.
But the same thing with our livestock. I think you could view it the same way. We're rearing our livestock, breeding them having babies, carrying on that line. We're completely, like you were saying before, we're disassociated from our food system.
Well, I mean that, yeah, and that's why as us talking about building this community and making these communities, it behooves us to actually be associated with our food. The better we treat our animals, the happier our animals are. You know, the better they're taken care of, the better we're taken care
I believe that animals ultimately know their purpose more so than we do. We
of.
we've
That is
come
true.
we've come to learn it, but we're just not comfortable with it. Like I said before, we all like people that they know that I'm gonna eventually pass on, but when I do, you better not have a greater life than I did, bitch. I come out this grave. That's how humans are, bro. And I sit up here and I read the Steve Jobs dying words to a young man yesterday on Facebook. We were having a live, and I said, make sure you add this to your resume, your repertoire. Like, you just kind of reach back to this and understand that this propaganda that a lot of stuff is being fed to, as far as like money and stuff like goes, money's not going to save any fucking body. And this man had more money than the law should allow, and died from brain cancer. Like, there was no amount of dollar he couldn't say, hey, get this shit out of my head. And some doctor be like, oh, hell yeah, I got you. But they was like, fuck, we can't do nothing about it,
Yeah, but it's about what you do with that.
But I'm saying that the ideal of it, of money, and that's where a lot of
Mhm.
things come from. And this is why, like, when I said to y'all about, you like, man, it'd be a good fit. And I'm like, yeah, Yeah, a good fit for me to say, you fuck out of here, you fuck out of here, you don't you ever come back over here. Because
Well, well,
I understand, to me personally, the first thing is the protection of order. You know what I mean? The order has to be the thing that goes in. I always live by the three O's: order of operation, operation of order. It's a palindrome for me. It's forward and backwards, because if there's no order, there's no operation, and if there's no operation, there's no order. You can't have one without the other. So the three hang as a balance. Those three O's for me hang as a balance. And when you don't have those two O's being the main one, the order and the operation, well, the of is just there. You know what I mean? You might as well have it as an or, because that's what a lot of people really prefer in a lot of situations. They either want the order or they want an operation, but that's not going to carry out. You have to have the order of operation, the operation of order. And when I see a spirit, a soul, a being, or whatever the hell people want to call them, and I get that, mm, this is not just the inkling. These are not spidey senses tickling. What is this? So how's your day going? Oh yeah, get the hell up out of here. And Biggie's like, D, but they're kind to me on TikTok. Fuck them and fuck TikTok. Go. So I always look at like that, and I'm one, quick to say fuck the community, right? Because I'm all about more so connections, and then that connection is a community. We talked about relationships, right? And that's what ultimately holds a community together, is that relationship, and how the relationship is viewed from not just one side, but from both sides. It's never going to be the exact same view, but there's going to be some level of the relationship that has to be ultimately understood, that hey, what's going on here is serving a greater purpose. Me and you are here right now, but we have to serve a greater purpose that we may or may not achieve. However, those that are coming behind us, if we don't achieve it, we better leave them at least a foot left to carry that load. So therefore, the generation after them can take that promised land and do the necessary. And that's have that expansion of building quality land, quality people, quality vegetations, quality food sources, quality breathing air, quality drinking sources. Now we're talking self-sustainability. And one thing I know, even from doing what I do, a lot of people desire or claim they desire that freedom. And when they get it, it's so uncomfortable, it's so unsettling, they don't know how to handle it. I have a situation right now where people really, Gerard, when I tell you, these motherfuckers pick their own schedule, and in some cases pick their wages, and don't show up. They don't show the hell up. You pick it. You have to literally say, this is what I'm going to do at this time. It'd be one thing if I was standing over your shoulder and saying, you ain't doing that shit right. Why you come in late? Your mama ugly. I never liked your daughter. Your wife's a hoe. Like, if I was doing that, I would understand. But you don't even see me after that one time of interaction. You're on your own. And a lot of situations where people have that when they're left to their devices to carry out that mission that they say they want to be in control of, they plummet.
they don't show up. Well, I'm gonna take that back to Rockefeller's quote. I think it was John D. said, we don't want a nation full of thinkers. We want a
Thinkers,
nation
yeah.
full of workers, right?
Mhm.
And that was the beginning of that Department of Education. They had no intention of raising individual critical thinking people who will show up, who want to make their own schedule, business owners, people that aspire to be something. They've indoctrinated us to be basically obedient slaves.
Right.
You know,
Excuse me.
tell me when to cook the fries. How many fries do I need to cook? When I need to cook them?
Excuse
When's
me,
my
Gerard.
break?
I gotta interrupt you right here. Jules, I know you didn't pick up that vape and put your head out the side. I know you
No,
did.
I was. I've been doing it on. I don't care. I know.
Okay. All right. Because we don't do that shit in the house over here.
Okay, drunk
Okay?
ass, stay in your lane.
You puff, okay? You drink.
Mind your business.
You talk your shit, okay? You're free. You're free.
Look here,
That's like
Lucius.
Biggie. Show it how it's
Look
done, goddamn
here,
Biggie.
Lucius. Stay in your
See,
lane.
it's too early for me. I still got to get out there and drive this Bobcat, and you don't want to do that.
Hey,
I might
yeah,
ride
you
up
do.
my road because I'm
Hey,
free.
hey,
I can ride up my road and
I'll
do
be
whatever.
on a whole tractor.
Yeah,
Tractor like
no.
this.
See, until you turn that thing over almost a couple times, and then you realize that when that sphincter go back up inside there, because you on the edge of the dam, and you just there, and you can just feel it. You know, help is about 2 hours away. That sphincter just bugger up like that. You can just pop a coin. Yeah, no,
You ain't lived until you had a damn tractor on its that one wheel, and like he said, that asshole is tight.
it just suck your pants in.
Hey, fuck a flash of life. You see hell.
Yeah, you gonna find Jesus in that moment. I just found Jesus a couple times. Like, nope, we gonna wait till the work is done, then we'll go ahead and have a drink. But
Hell, I wasn't even drinking when the fucking tractor wheel came over me. Fucking it was a odd part in the ground, and hell, I didn't feel like I was going no more than 20 miles. I hit that son of a bitch. That bitch said, "Yee!" I said, "No.
And you see that soil starting to move under the tire. You're like, I'm sorry.
But the funny part is you're leaning the opposite direction, thinking your little weight against the tractor is gonna counterweight it to push it back the way it needs to be.
Oh,
I'm like I'm on the big wheel again. I'm leaning.
Listen, I never turned so hard in my life.
Because that's all you see is a couple grand just rolling over down on, and a couple tons on top of you. No,
I think I pray to every god that exists: the gravity god, the levitation god,
the wind god, fire god, the Muslim god. Just in case I'm missing it with Christ, like I'm praying to everybody.
Tree god, if you happen to put another tree to bounce me back the way,
let it be a root under there.
I'll slow down. All right, you're good.
Yeah,
you're right, Gerard.
But you know, it's funny when I you remind me when I was in corporate America, and so the thing is, like, most Americans they wait to be told what to do, and I watched my team. We went from being an all-American team to I had to hire people in Mexico, half Mexican. And then I had to hire people in India because Mexico was going too high on the prices. And then I had to hire people in Malaysia. And after a while, my entire team was, from Monterrey, Mexico, Bangalore, India, and Malaysia. And I was the only American left. But a lot of that had to do with the fact that Americans they needed to be told what to do. Of course, they were too expensive, and that was the main driver. But I got to a point, where I said, don't come to my desk unless you have the solution or a solution. Doesn't have to be the right one, but don't bring problems to my office unless you got an approach to how we're going to solve this. And I started driving them and trying to make them independent, critical thinking. And it was easier to do that with people international than it was with Americans. And it was back to your point, is that we're trained to be workers. We're trained to have careers. And this nation was not designed for an entire society full of indentured servants, which is what we are, at best, at least apprentices. We used to be in a time we go work for the blacksmith, we learn a trade, we go open our shop. We go work for the carpenter, we learn a trade, we go open our shop. Now we go work for these people and we stay there and we call it a career. And this is where we lose our market share in this country. This country was not designed for that. So the people who run businesses, they maintain and grab more of the market share than those who remain the employees, And so But it's a mindset. It's a mindset we have. We want to be told what to do, and that among many things are our failings in this country. We
I
used to
would,
be a nation full of business owners.
yeah,
I
I
never
would rather
wanted to
lead
be
than
told
follow,
what to
though.
do.
I'd rather take an initiative towards making something better or helping, like going back to my job. If I see my CNA struggle, or we have somebody leave in the middle of the shift because they don't want to work, I literally put my med pass on hold and I took the initiative and I put 4 of the residents to bed. Like, I would rather have them see that I'm able to lead you and I'm going to help you than sit there and like turn a blind eye to it. A lot of people don't want to take initiative for anything. They want to be told, they want to be handed the free ride, they want to be handed success, they want a quick fix to their success. No, that takes hard work. That takes dedication, that takes initiative, that takes self-discipline, that takes a lot of stuff. People are just wanting a handout nowadays and they don't want to work. This shit's
I'm
frustrating.
I'm glad you said that, right? Because that is one of the things that I definitely promote within this community that I am building is that we all have to do work. Um, a few people have said that they had a problem with it because I would say if you can't sleep in a tent for a weekend, homesteading you're not going to be able to do. And a lot of people come for me when I say that, right? And I say that because there is a certain physical aspect to homesteading you have to be able to do. You might have to be able to lay down on the ground to do something for anywhere between 5 to 10 to 30 minutes and then pop right back up and take after and chase something down. I mean, I'm not saying that that's always a thing, but you never know. Like I've had to run, literally slide under a barbed wire fence and then get back up and start running. That, I mean, right. And if you can't do that, right, you're gonna have problems because if you got an animal and now you too scared to go under the damn barbed wire fence, right? Well, now you got to go all the way around to a gate, open up a gate, get a key, probably do all of that, and that it's gone.
You're working harder, not smarter.
So
You just have to
I
do what
mean,
you need to do. Yeah, absolutely.
so one thing that we are going to be doing is we're going to be having what we call homesteading classes, right? These classes will give you an aspect of a lot of the stuff that we do around here on a daily or yearly basis, right? And these will also teach you skills that a lot of people may not already have. So, we're just going to be doing it that way and see how people work together. And, we do have a process.
Mm.
But people also have to understand that even though you have an individual task, like you do your thing, he does his thing, I do my thing. Ultimately, it's still a team, right? You still have to work together as a team. You have to be cohesive with each other. If you have one person, even if it's just one person that's like, well, I'm not helping or I'm not doing this. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is my job. That's not in my job description. Bitch, if you don't get your ass up and start helping whoever is struggling, this ain't gonna work. It just won't.
So we don't
With
really have
anything.
those kind of people. We do have a person who will be able to weed out those kind of people. You wouldn't make it past her. I'm gonna be honest. That type of person would never make it past Lenny. I promise you. There's no way that type of attitude or that because see you've got to go through her to get to.
But that's how you build your strong foundation with anything. Is
See,
if
now,
you have a person that can weed those people out instead of you having to deal with that on top of everything else you're dealing with, that's going to help you in the long run. You're going to get the people that are going to be successful.
I see
Right.
that
And
was a discussion that we were having yesterday,
and he was like telling me about Lenny, and I said that was a big reason why I was like, no, I can't, because Barry White, who's on here yesterday, we were talking about his clothing line, and he's like, man, you know a lot about music. I think you might have missed your calling about being an A&R. I said, nope. He said, why do you say that? I said, because if I was an A&R, it would have stifled so many people from becoming the success they are today. Because there's a style of music I just wouldn't have had backed. I would not promote, regardless if it was good music or not. It just would have hurt so many people. And I said, because of that, I'm proud of certain fields that I didn't enter into. Not that I wouldn't have been good or successful at it. It's just that it would have stifled a lot of people in positions of how I conceived the information, how I perceive things to be really of a metrics of how it should go forward. And although I don't like it, right, I do like the overall outcome of people being in positions to provide for families, provide for self. I can't do nothing but applaud that shit, right? The biggest thing is I'm not the one to really be in the position to do that. So when I hear this, I'm like, all right, I'm good with that, because maybe somebody will come in there and not be as biased as I am. Me personally, once I get one hint of fuckery, up that goddamn, you got to go, shit, bitch. No, sorry, goodbye. Like, you know what I mean? Because one thing about it, we all said, we all know that time is very limited. And although my mindset is, if you're here, you don't come here to get motivated. You should have been motivated from knowing your ass was coming here, right? You don't get on the land and say, hey, I'm ready to fucking do this. You get on the land and say,
Amen.
amen, Jesus.
Amen.
So yeah, and that is actually the most critical role, is the recruiter. You know, the person that's actually screening people. And yeah, it does take a certain type of person. They have to be open to different mindsets in different ways, you know, but kind of focus in on you need to be a self-starter. You need to be the kind of person that walks past the milk on the floor in the kitchen and pick it up, clean it up. Not asking who did it, who gonna do this, who gonna clean it up. We need to get a cleaning crew together. No, there's milk on the floor. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up. You need to be a self-starter. This is what we're talking about. Most people want to be told what to do. And so, yeah, it is, that role is critical, because in my research in building communities, because I think what Biggie and I both are doing is we're going from being preppers into building community. Like there's a big difference between someone who's a prepper and someone who's a community person. So you can prepare for bad times and you can survive, but you're not going to thrive alone. It takes a community to thrive where everybody's kind of got a different function. And so, but the number one reason these communities fail are the people you let in. You let in one bad apple, and that bad apple spoils the bunch. It's the mindsets. And so I you know, and talking with Lenny, I'll say that, you know, she certainly has a grasp of, you know, I don't really like what you do, but that is not for me to like. That's you. That's your mindset. It's your ideology. Do you have the idea of being a self-starter? You know, where you can go, the pig's out the fence. Let me go ahead and get the pigs, you know, like, you know, that mindset. So, but that role is very critical. Like we're talking about before, relationships. It's all about relationships.
Shout out to Lenny. Lenny, I love you. I don't even know you, but you keep doing what you're doing, because it'd been me. I tell you right now, I'd wipe the goddamn slate clean and not lose a wink of sleep behind it.
Yeah, but you know, but see, D, you be in a different spot, brother. You're the one that, you know what? Listen, like we have as an example, we have a no violence policy. Your first fight is your last fight. Like because we have a lot of single moms, like B was talking about, and we have a lot of people who've been through, you know, rough treatment and abuse. And so the thing is that, yeah, that's not allowed. If you cannot self-manage yourself, where you got to lay paws on somebody else. I mean, if it's the two of you and two brothers, y'all want to resolve it, take it off the property, do whatever. But the first time y'all do that here, you're gone. Yeah. And that's where a D comes in, because you got to have a hardcore line. You can't be, you know, hippy dippy. Let's work together and figure it out. No, it's too late. You didn't pass that point. Get your shit, Tricky, get the bags and get the fuck out. Like, you know, but everybody has a role, and every personality, you know, has a place. And to me, again, and the thing when it came to managing in corporate America, it was about finding a role for everybody. Everybody has a role. It's about putting people in a position where they'll succeed and benefit the whole, how Julie was talking about.
Yeah.
Well, we got 10 more minutes, fellas. I appreciate y'all so much for coming on here, man. I know I pulled y'all away from TikTok. I know TikTok probably mad as shit right now. This is wrong. You're talking to
not
D.
mad. They're not mad until they see it was you. When they see it was D, then because yesterday I don't know what happened yesterday. I was busy helping a neighbor.
They still going.
And they was tripping. They was like, D this and D said that and D. And I'm like, D what? But anyway,
it got so bad that they started making up discussions that never took place.
Yeah, and Biggie was. I mean, he was doing a good job. I thought he was like, but first of all,
that was the funniest shit ever. Is like you hear somebody that's having a discussion, and I clearly said, "I'm not talking to you." Like I'm trying to get somewhere, and at a point, I'm like, I'm becoming annoyed. I'm already telling you, I'm not talking to you, and the motherfucker said, "Well, it's an open panel." Okay,
Stay in your
Biggie.
lane.
Let's talk about it then, Biggie. What numbers you have? Well, I don't have it. Okay, Biggie, back to where we are. Biggie goes, okay. So and you can kind of hear him getting frustrated. Where the confusion is, he's not frustrated with me. I'm not frustrated with him. We're frustrated because we keep getting interrupted when we're trying to get somewhere. Every time we would get a step covered, it was like, well, why are you asking this? I was like,
Well, so the thing is, though, I mean, and again, I wasn't there, but based on what I understand, the mindset of most people isn't they don't know what a think tank is, right?
No.
You got to have a think tank before you engage in a project. You got to beat it up. This is your risk management portion of the project. You're trying to determine the risk. You want to poke holes on it on paper in discussion, not when you get out there and the damn pig is out the fence and you ain't got no fence. You want to.
And I said that several times. I said that.
And so it's never personal. It's, listen, if I want to do a thing and you can help me beat my plan up to make my plan more solid, you are the most important person in that conversation because you're the one that's going to save us time, money, perhaps save people's lives, And so, but that was my take on it, based on what I heard after I got back, but we get in our emotions and business is not emotional. Emotions don't come to business. It's just business.
Yep. Only cares about staying in business.
Yeah, and they even was like, well, I don't like the way he said it. It was his delivery system. I feel. That's all you. I feel. I was like, oh my God.
This what it really was, Jules. When I said, well, I feel like this, and I'm like, oh, I don't care how you feel about it. I'm not here to make you comfortable.
See, and the funny thing is, success in the business world was understanding people would say things like that to trigger you, throw you off keel, and they would just dog walk you all over the meeting. Because now you're in your feelings. You're not talking about facts and business. You're emotional, and everybody sees it. And whatever you wanted in that meeting, you are not going to get because now you were triggered. But again, these were concepts that in the business world, most people have never interacted with. They don't understand. You cannot bring your feelings.
What I really was exposing was the fact that if you couldn't deal with the fact that a discussion that really wasn't about you and it wasn't to you, and yet you're that fucked up.
Because that's right. That's a self-centered person. If it's not about me, I'm going to make it about me. And that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah. And to Biggie's point, Biggie and I go back and forth on this. Like, he's trying to put all these people in tents. He's like, if you can't live in a tent, you can't live off grid. And mind you, while I think it's fun, it is true because there are certain days. While like I said, I do not work 8 hours a day. Some days I'll work 12 hours. Other days I won't work at all. It depends on what I want to do. But when something goes wrong, you got to go resolve it. It's not about how you feel. You got to go do the damn thing, or the hog is going to get away, or the hog is going to get eaten. You can't bring your emotions off grid. Because when you're on grid, you got a whole support network, like you said, contractors you can call the police, you can do this, you can do that. But when you're off grid, it's on you. You got to put your feelings away, what you want to do, and when it's time to do a damn thing, it's just got to get done.
And that's what I brought up, discipline. And the fact is, then she goes, oh, one of the girls go, what do you think discipline is? I say, well, I tell you what I know it is you do the thing you know you need to do, whether you feel good about it or not.
Yeah.
And then he got quiet for like 5 seconds. And well, see, it's condescending. I'm like, yeah, I never seen that word be misused and abused so wrongly so many times. But however, it is what it is. And
Yeah.
you know, the crazy thing is, I'm not going to drop the information that I found out, but I know this for a fact is that when it comes to this particular lifestyle, and if you never lived on a ranch or lived on a farm, you know, it's not grueling work all the time. And even when it is grueling work, one thing you have to understand is it's not your physical aspect that's the issue. You picking a hole in the ground to place a wood or a steel and cementing it, that ain't the hard work. The hard work is the mental. If your
But,
mental's not straight for any damn thing, well, God bless.
but you know what? If you at the end of the day did all of that, no matter how grueling it was, no matter if you wanted to do it or not, you got up and did it. If you
It's
can't
1:30
sit
p.m.
or stand
You're
on your front porch at the end of the day and be like, God damn, I did it. I didn't want to at the beginning, but I did it. And be proud of yourself for that. There's something seriously wrong with you, because I would love to put in some hard work for the day, stand on my porch, look around and be like, I'm doing the damn thing and I did it myself with the help of these people or even whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's more rewarding, I would think, to anybody.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, Jules, more like this. What it is I listen very well, and I don't only listen to what the people are saying. I'm also hearing what they're not saying.
Right.
And so when I listen to exchanges with a lot of people in a lot of circles, it's going to go find a comfort level in life that, oh, once I get here, I don't have to do this. Once I get there, I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And I just laugh like, okay.
If
God bless.
people understood that life is uncomfortable, period, no matter how content you are, things would be a lot easier. It's going to be uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Self-improvement is uncomfortable. And if you want to sit and be content and be miserable the rest of your life, then please leave me alone, because I'm striving for better
Right
with
on.
not only myself, but for my kids,
Right on.
people I take care of.
Well,
Right on.
and to me, and that's where the automation aspect of homesteading comes in. And this is why everybody can do it. The greatest engineers in this country have always been the farmers. The farmers were the ones that had to create implementations. They had to create inventions, fix things, repair them, ad hoc. They're the greatest engineers. Now they're in corporate America. But the point is that we now have the automation to make homesteading a lot easier than what it used to be. Homesteading right now is not what it was 50 years ago. It's not what it was 20 years ago. You
Right.
now have the ability where you can increase your comfort level every day physically. Mentally is a different story, right? But
Right.
physically, you can increase your comfort level. And when it comes to the automation mindset, and again, I don't know why people hate automation and why they're against it. The problem is never the tool, it's always the implementation. Automation can help a lot of people live and do things homesteading in which they couldn't normally do. Tractors, as an example. If you are a woman that doesn't have the physical stature of a man, but you can move some levers, you can dig any hole you need to. You can make any earth berms and all kind of things. And so, I utilize the mindset that I learned in corporate America when it came to automation, and that is I don't like to do things twice. If I
Right.
do it the first time and I got to fix it again the second time, my mind goes into the wheel works of, okay, how can we automate this thing or fix the engineering of this thing so that something else fixes it or it doesn't break? And so, Jules, to your point, what I love what you said is that at the end, we are creatures of accomplishment. At the end of the day, we want to feel that we had a good day, and we want to look back and actually physically see something that we did and fixed.
Right.
And a lot of jobs, you never really get to see that because it's a TPS report. It's on a spreadsheet. It's a number in a database. And while you do get an endorphin rise out of that, it's not the same thing. At the end of the day, my day is a good day if I know I fixed more than broke, and there's more out there, that's working on the farm than was in the morning when I got up.
Right.
And as long as I made progress in the right direction, I feel great and I have a great night's sleep.
Right.
And that is most days. But yeah, we are creatures of accomplishment. We do feel better when we actually make something. And I think that's why the whole era the DIY has come in. We were always DIY.
Right.
But now we're going back to it because it makes us feel good. When you fix the dryer, you build a shed in the backyard. We love accomplishment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man, my good people. Any last words?
Love, peace, and chicken grease.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Beyond chicken grease. Beyond. Here go Biggie. That's not real chicken, brother. That's some vegetables or something. That ain't chicken.
It ain't chicken.
And that damn sure ain't grease. That's essential oils or something. Tomato juice.
Valvoline.
Yeah. No, my last words are, y'all, we need a new way to live. We really do. All of us can't do it, but more and more, we're going to have less and less jobs. And this economy is going to do what it does. When I lived in Pennsylvania, it was $3,000 a month just to exist. Just to pay the bills, and above that, then I got to start to live a little bit. Out here, I mean, the max bills, because I'm a little spendthrift, is probably $300 a month. And so what I encourage people is that if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, you got a business, or you work from home, think about living in a place where the majority of your paycheck goes in the bank, not back in the infrastructure. And then ask yourself, what is that going to do to your retirement? Are you going to retire at 65 now, or are you going to retire at 45 or in your 30s? How's it going to go with your Bitcoin business if you've got more money to put into your investments than into the infrastructure? To a large degree, living on grid has kind of become a bit of a scam, in that it slows down our efficiency in the things we want to do and the dreams we want to chase. So my last words are just that, is that, if you do have the ability to work remotely or work from home, or you want to start a business, you really consider where you live, because to live off grid doesn't mean you got to live in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
You can live off grid 30 minutes from a city. I'm not too far from El Paso. If I want some fine dining, I'm going to see a movie, I want coffee, I go to El Paso. You can still live off grid, and be in tune with on grid, but just living in a way that will take your upward mobility and exponentially shoot it through the roof, because now you have a large percentage of now expendable income that you can reinvest back into your life.
Right on. Right on. Biggie?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, the way the government is going these days, they don't have our best interests at heart. We need to create a better way for our children, so that our children can come up in a system where they are able to thrive and not be a slave to the system that they are trying to put us in. And that is what we're here for.
Jules?
Amen.
All right.
I don't have anything beneficial to say to what they just said. I can't top that. I know it's not about topping anybody, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you put in your hard work,
depends on
you
who
can
you
look
talk
back and
to
be
at
like,
what time
damn,
of
I'm
the
proud of
day.
myself. So that should be it.
Depend on who you talk to at what time of the day. They may want to be topped.
And see.
That's
Go
time,
somewhere,
man.
Lucius.
So I'd say this. Regardless of what lifestyle you choose to pick, you don't become motivated when it's there. You have to be motivated beforehand. When I played sports, I didn't have to get motivated for the game. Shit, it was too late. I'm already there. And there's no need for me to be motivated. Just like kickboxing, I ain't be motivated to fight. I'm already motivated. I signed the fuck up. Like, what are we talking about? And so it's one of those things, regardless of what it is. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people are clinging on to something. I need to be motivated. No, if you're not motivated from the get, you're not going to be. Not and if it's not at that time, maybe later. But your motivation shouldn't come from a result when you see something happening. You should have some type of clear understanding of what it is. And then once you see something, it just helps what you already were motivated about, you know? And that's my whole take on it. So we got you guys right here, man. I want to thank the Farm Around and Find Out brothers for coming up here, man, and sharing. Awesome, man. Anytime you come back and just kick it, bro. We would love to have you guys on Sit, bro, and come talk some shit and have some laughs. And if not, then the missing conversation, do the same thing. Uh, Here on T Max Network, I hold a double side podcast where I do Sit, bro, which stands for Success is the Best Revenge Overall. It is the purpose of connecting the mending the generational gap between men, so the younger man can understand that the old man is not against him, and therefore the old man can understand the younger man is not against him. And then the guys like ourselves that's in the middle can go and say, well, you young guys, we don't listen to you motherfuckers because y'all stupid, and you old guys, you bitches about to die. So we just say, hey fellas, we're right here together.
That's what's
All
up.
right. So, and then you have the missing conversation where we end up just having friendly banter with the ladies, and not going too personal, and not the all men ain't shit, all women ain't shit discussions. We actually have some fun talks and laugh our asses off.
I'm telling you, look, listen, I'm going to my storage unit after I pick up my daughter, and I'm bringing back the bananas. So just a heads up for next conversation.
So me and Geraldine here, aka Jules, we created these characters that manifested out of thin. I wish I would have kept that TikTok.
Damn it.
I was at work, and we created these characters. One name was Geraldine, which is the woman. She was a white woman, and Lucius was a black man who was a pimp from the countryside. And somehow he slowed down and he found Geraldine. And there's an interracial couple that came together and they have a trailer. When I tell you we was talking so much shit and we had people rolling, these motherfuckers walked in the door.
He was in the liquor store. He was in the store, and these people actually walked through the door when we were on live and we were talking about it.
Every descriptive measure that we put out there, they were of that fabric. And it was like, at that point, it's like $1 billion. A billion goddamn dollars, right?
Let me manifest some more.
But it was good times. So we'll probably take that show on the road.
Geraldine and Lucius.
But man,
Oh my God.
thank y'all so much, man. It's been a pleasure.
All right.
I look forward, like I said, y'all more than welcome to ever come back to the T Max Network. For those that have been here, man, checking us out, please subscribe to the channel T-Max_network here on the Tube of You. And also, if you're looking to be a content creator, a sponsor, new panelist, want us to have a discussion on, make a suggestion of any kind, then you go ahead and you reach out to us, the T-Max Network LLC at gmail.com. That's T-Max Network LLC at gmail.com. I promise you, somebody's going to respond to you. May not be the response you want, but damn it, it's a response.
We'll get back at you.
All right.
Sponsored by
That
Shanky's.
We out of here, good people. Y'all have a wonderful day, man.
All right.
You too.
Good seeing you.